let's get this show on the road now.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah, no death. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't handle the truth, for this is a Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
You're damn right we don't.
car. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean? If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Look, we're gonna have company!
Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I'm Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm the beady weedy himself, Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Friends.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of going through spring cleaning, because we are in spring now and there's hardly anything behind me.
Oh my goodness.
Woo!
This weather is telling me otherwise.
Yeah, I love it when the weather in Melbourne goes, oh, I'm gonna be cold and I'm gonna still be winter, and now it's summer, guys. It's just straight into summer.
Just smack bang, have all the heat.
Yeah,
There's no in between.
No.
27 today. It was lovely.
27?
27.
Oh my god.
37.
Very intense. Oh, welcome to the show. Fully is back this week, which is
Hi.
lovely to see.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. In the
I
flesh.
like it the flesh.
Virtual flesh.
So she can now take us through in person her
Aha.
weekly watchings. Fulia.
Yes, hello. Yeah, so last week has been a pretty rough week for me. I've been sick. soon as PAX happened, I had 1 day of reprieve and then smack in the face, have a cold.
You got the
So-
Pax Lurgy.
Yeah, I know. So if I'm sounding a little nasally, but I am at the better half of the end where I'm getting better. So it was a quick turnaround, thankfully. And I need it to be all gone before I leave for America. So, that's why I've been pumping the meds and the vitamin C. So that I get out of here all nice and clean and no sickness. But I did get to watch a couple of things, but it's just the usual at the moment. So continuing with Kuroko's basketball, really enjoying it. I'm getting close to the end of it. I think I'm like maybe 5 episodes out from actually finishing the series. So it's only a 3-season anime. It's nice and short. I think they're like 25 to 26 episodes per season, so it's a good enough run. So I'm really enjoying it. The other thing that I started up this past week is the new season of Netflix's Barbecue Showdown, and that is a cooking contest show that I love to watch, and it's all about barbecuing and smoking and just meat. It's really, really good. Makes you really want to just go and have a good old barbecue over in America, which I hope to at least experience a little bit of it. Maybe get a taste.
Nah, they don't know how to
of what it would be
barbecue.
like. But I'm not going into the southern states, which is where they're mostly known for the really good barbecue. All your briskets and, freaking smoked tomahawk steaks and whatever it is. And it's just, this show just makes me hungry every time. And that's the thing too. Like, we barbecue here in Australia, but they barbecue. They go all out with their barbecuing. Whereas we're just like, let's just pop some sausages and some burgers on the barbecue and we're good to go. Whereas over there, they're like, we're gonna do a whole day's worth of cooking in a smoker, in these really weird contraptions, over fire, all that sort, get all the smoke into it. It's insane. But it's really, really cool. And I really enjoy it. So I'm learning new things on how to cook certain meats over barbecue and, over fire and using smokers and all these different barbecuing. So it's cool.
No. You have to host your own BBQ at some point. Then for
Maybe if I ever get a barbecue similar to that, they look insanely intense though.
Yeah.
Those things look intimidating. Like they've got pressure valves and all these, different things that you have to really look out for, and you have to maintain the when you're cooking and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's a science, man.
Yeah.
It's a freaking science.
Should have it
So-
like an American style barbecue at your place.
Yeah.
And I can bring the apple the potato salad that's got raisins in
Potato
it.
salad, yeah.
Oh no.
I always those Americans they love to put their raisins and everything.
Raisins in potato salad?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much what I've been watching because the weekend before I was at PAX. It was this insanely sort of tiring weekend, but fun. I really had a lot of fun. I know that last week when I said that I would come back with a brief description of what happened. Yeah, essentially 2 days of just walking around. I had sore hips by the end of it, but it was good. They had a dodgeball arena set up in there. They had dodgeball tournaments at PAX, which was nuts. The big three consoles weren't there, so no Nintendo, no Sony, no Xbox. However, there was a Microsoft booth kind of, but it was kind of incognito, and I had no idea about it because it looked like they set up the booth to make it look like a retro gaming store, like a video store, like old school. And you walk in and it's like just got Game Pass games sort of like on cardboard boxes to make it look like as if you're gonna borrow them or whatever. I don't know. It was some weird promotion that they were doing. I didn't walk into it, but I heard friends going in. I could see it from the outside. I'm like, what the heck is this place? Like, why are people queuing up to go in to this booth that looks like some, old school video store?
It sounds like they're sort of rubbing it in now. It's like,
I
do you remember physical media? Well,
yeah.
you're not getting it anymore. Get your day pass. No games you buy you cannot own.
So they were kind of there. They were kind of there in some fashion, but it was mostly just about the indie games and all the amazing Australian indie developers. But we also had our neighbours, the Kiwi counterparts. We had some New Zealand indie developers there as well. They had their own section. International developers as well. Not as many, but there were a couple in out there that one of which I had already played the demo for like ages ago, like earlier this year. And when I saw them at PAX, I was very excited to meet them. So, and they were also very happy to meet me, which was really nice.
Cute.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to play a lot of indie demos while I was there, so that was fun. There were places where you can buy merch. They had a lot of it. A lot of the spaces were dedicated to PC gaming and PC builds and just selling parts for PCs and custom PCs and all that sort of stuff. A lot of PCs that were custom built that looked like a shark, like a robotic shark, and it's a PC, like it's a literal gaming PC, but it's a robotic shark shape. There was another one that was in the shape of a red basketball sneaker. It's like massive. And yeah, there was another one that kind of looked like it had some mana potion going through it. It had a liquid cooler in it. But the way that the outside of the case, it sort of looked like a mana vial, like a vial with liquid in it, and it was sort of swirling at the front. But then you look on the inside of the actual PC itself, like where all the parts and components are, and you could see where the sort of the liquid cooling, the cooling liquid's actually been sort of flowing through all the parts that are moving. They've got little mini bottles of mana, like in red and blue, sort of hanging inside the case of this PC tower. And I'm like, this is nuts. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to my Instagram page because I posted a little video like that particular PC.
Plug.
It's insane.
Plug.
But yeah, no, it was really good fun. I finally also got to learn how to play Lorcana, the card game. There was something that I've been do, and I never got around to it until now. So I got to learn how to play Lorcana. So now I can say that I know the rules. I just need to put it to practice a bit more. So when I come back from my trip, I'm gonna see if I can find like local events that happen so that I can go and attend and play and learn a bit more. So I'm really looking forward to doing that at some point. So yay to finally learning how to.
Nice.
Yeah, no, all that plus the fact that I also was on a panel for my first time. I got invited to be on a panel at PAX, which is crazy to think that I would be the person that they would invite, and I was like, cool, sure.
It's
So
wonderful.
that was fun. It was intimidating, very nerve-wracking, but fun in general. It was a debate. I'm not good at debates, so yeah, my arguments weren't really good.
I got to get the dog in you.
But also, I'm not very good with impromptu arguing. That was my other thing too. I literally just sat there quiet while everybody else was arguing over me. So I'm like, this is fine. I'm cool. I'll just enjoy this moment.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was an experience, and I'm thankful for being invited on, and for even part of this panel. And I don't know that I would do it again, to be honest. If it was a debate style again, depends on the topic. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it was good fun for the most part. And if you want to listen to it, they did rip the audio from the panel at PAX, and it is available to listen to on your podcast feeds. I think it is called the topic. The panel itself was called and it is posted up via the By the Players podcast. So if you look up By the Players, they're an Australian podcasting team, and it is a PlayStation podcast. So check it out. You can hear my topic of why Game Pass was the best deal in gaming, and how I got trashed over it.
You want me to give you a little bit more work on the edit this week?
No.
Insert segment here.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
No.
But yeah, that was me for the last couple of weeks. Hence why I haven't been here, and yeah, it was just very tired by the end of it. So
That is fair enough. That is fair enough.
Yeah.
You've been very, very busy. So that's okay. That's okay. All right, Mike.
Yes.
Mike, what about you? What have you been watching? this
Well,
week?
first of all, watched a new episode of The Penguin, which was good. Might be a lot of people's favorite episode so far, dare say. I have a little bit of problem with it because it deals with like incarceration and mental health like things, and I'm very iffy about that. But I need to remember this is a fictional place, so it's not as extreme as that. But it's a nice little character story for a particular character and how they became who they are. So I'll leave it at that. Just in case Fulya might watch it one day. I don't know. Probably not. Don't give me that. Don't give me that, Luke.
I don't think so.
So that was great.
That's not the truth.
Yes, it's not a truth. And and yeah, ending was a bit gave me pause. It's like, what are we doing here? Because went full on, very full on. I was thinking, what's going to happen? and where is things going to happen now? Because it was sort of a flashback episode, more or less. And and the chess pieces are moving, and where are things going to be going? I do not know. But speaking of board games, and games that deal with dice, the next 3 episodes of Vox Machina came out. 7 to 9. So all up to date. And where are things going? I'm surprised at the projection of where things are going, because I didn't expect them to be doing this sort of thing, because I know vaguely what's going to happen in campaign 1 of the Critical Role first campaign, and a lot of people online are actually surprised that they went down this way, because certain things didn't really happen, and it's like, oh, this is more interesting, and where things are going to go, and what's going to happen in the final 3 episodes. And yeah, big surprise for you, Kendall, coming up.
Ooh, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should I be excited or nervous or both?
I'm sort of both. I'm excited where the story's going to go, because I sort of know what happens to the characters at the end, because they do pop up every now and again in the future campaigns, because it's like I think the second and third one are like there's a 30-year gap in between, and characters come in for like a brief cameo and all that, and that was fun. So I know who lives and who dies, or stay dead, or even come back to life. Don't know. It's D&D. As long as you got diamonds, you can come back to life. But who knows what's going to happen? Also, with that, I'm still watching the first campaign through an abridged edit of the campaign, and I'm up to the 30s. So I'm still in Whitestone. So that's been going good. They're sort of going from they're in Whitestone, and they're searching out. So I'm still in season 1. If we're talking about story wise. So, and that's great. And yeah, and Scanlan turned into a Triceratops and wreaked havoc on a building. That was fun. It's still fun. So up to 30 and roughly 80 more episodes to go until overall finish. So that's fun. Something new. On Netflix, I know it's on Crunchyroll. It's probably the first 2 episodes, but the first episode is only on Netflix, and I've only got Netflix. But Dragon Ball Daima, the new Dragon Ball Daima, Jeffrey, don't know.
Dharma.
Dharma. The new quasi series of Dragon Ball was dropped. Only I think the English dub is coming out in November, but they've got the original dub on Netflix, which is cool. And I think it's on Crunchyroll, but the first episode's on Netflix. So I saw the first episode, and yeah, it was good. A lot of people don't really like the premise of it. Essentially, it's all after Z and before GT. So it's the original guys after the Boo saga. But for some reason, things happen, and all of a sudden, everyone becomes kids, and become and the kids who are the kids become babies. So we're getting Muppet babies, but for Dragon Ball.
I was wondering what this was. It keeps popping up, but now I'm thinking maybe because I have watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I might be keen to check this out because I haven't gone any further than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I think stay with that because GT was.
I haven't even touched Super. That's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah. I think Super sort of started okay, but it sort of got banandering at the end. I haven't seen Super either. It's just what people been saying online. I don't always trust people online.
This is so weird seeing kid versions of all the characters from Dragon Ball
weird.
Z.
Yeah, it's not weird if you've seen Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Well, no. I know about Dragon Ball. Like, I've seen Goku as a kid. I know that. But, like...
This is Piccolo as a kid and Vegeta
I've never
as a
seen...
kid.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
what
sense.
I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like they might... Are they catering to, like, kids with this? Maybe?
But I think because this is like the last... Essentially, unfortunately, it's the last hurrah for Akira Toriyama. So it was his sort of brand of weirdness, and he wanted to go back to the sort of weirdness. And if you don't like the premise, you're probably not going to like it. But I don't mind the premise. I think it's quite charming in its way, because in the first episode it's like an even like Dragon Ball Z sort of start. It's whimsical, it's fighting and all of that, and then all of a sudden a wish happens, and then it just turns into like this kawaii sort of. Everyone turns into kids, and it's like, what's going on? So I can't wait for the second episode, which is already out and people seen it. But I need to see that.
I need to watch this now. I need to do someone watch this.
Yeah, I think the second episode comes out next Friday. I think.
Fridays? Okay.
On Netflix. I haven't got Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I don't have Crunchyroll either, so Netflix as well, where I'll be probably watching it as well.
Yeah, so who knows? It's at the moment it's enjoyable, so who knows what will happen.
Hey, if you like Dragon Ball Z, then this is a easy watch.
Wow, you need to be a particular Dragon Ball Z person, because if you're a person that's only seen Dragon Ball Z and hasn't seen Dragon Ball, the culture shock will be absolutely.
Yeah, you'll need to see both. I'm glad that I went in order and started with Dragon Ball and then went into Dragon Ball Z. So.
Like, for the people who think that Boo went too annoyingly cutesy and insane, you'll probably have a hard pill to swallow for this one.
Yeah.
And they do touch on a little bit of the Boo saga as well, because it's sort of a recap as well. So that's a bit of fun. And new protagonists has come in, and
All right, cool.
It's cool.
Adding it to my watch list now.
Will do. Also, another sort of weird thing that I discovered. Do we know the YouTube sensation Markiplier?
Yes. I'm aware of him. Yes.
He did a television show, and not just the sort of stuff that he's done online. And it's a TV show that he did while they were doing the Friday Nights at Fred's, so he couldn't be in it as well, because he was meant to be like the security guard at the start that gets taken by Freddy. And it's a sort of little Easter egg, because he sort of made Friday Nights, Five Nights at Freddy's sort of phenomenal in the game playing atmosphere, the Bite of 87 and that sort of thing. And so he did a TV show for Amazon that's only on American Amazon, so you need a VPN to watch it, which I did. And only 6 episodes, 20 odd minutes each. So it was a good binge, and it's called The Edge of Sleep, and it's a very psychological horror thriller sort of thing. And I think you get a kick out of it, Kendall. Probably not for you, Fulya. A lot of. Like, I don't mind the sort of imagery that's sort of very macabre, very very David Lynch-esque sort of stuff. But there was one bit where they were fishing pills out of vomit, and I was sort of like, I don't need that. No, thank you, because they can't go to sleep. It's a story where if you go to sleep, you die, and no one knows the reason. It follows Markiplier, Dave, and his story. Stuff has happened in his past, and they have to deal. And these group of people need to deal with what's going on in this town. It's like, is this an epidemic or is this a pandemic or whatever, or what's going on? And yeah, it's a very interesting watch. I mean, yeah, India's anything, and you could sort of see sort of building blocks. But I don't know. It was a bit of fun, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And Mark, he's a very good actor. He's he holds a scene well, which is quite great for someone only pretty much known for like playing games online. And I've seen like bits and pieces of his stuff that he's done like semi-seriously online, and that was a bit of fun too. But this one like is a full on production and on a main streaming service, even though it's in America. I highly recommend this one as well. And stuff happens at the end, and who knows, might be if it goes good, maybe a second season. And that's what I've been watching. What about you, Kendall? Have you been watching some stuff?
Yeah, I've been watching some stuff. I really want to go watch that show now, because that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn to talk. So, I'm just gonna be a repeat of Mike for a bit, because all I watched this week was, let's see, Penguin. Penguin was freaking awesome. I will agree with those that are saying it's their favorite episode of the show so far. It was amazing. Like the show kind of is just amazing every week, but I was really looking forward to learning more about Sophia Falcone and getting her backstory and finding out what actually happened to her. Was just, I did not expect that at all. The way it all went down, and it was such like a just just blindsided me a little bit. And I'm like, this is fucking awful. Also didn't realize they fucking called in Mark fucking Strong to play Carmine Falcone. I'm like, oh wow, that's a big pull. All right, I guess John Turturro was busy, but that's fine. I'll take Mark Strong as a recast. That's totally fine. Yeah. So,
hardly need a difference, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Does a good job. So it was a brilliant episode, and I wouldn't want to be Oz right about now at all. So I'm pretty sure everyone wants to kill him, except for Victor, because Victor's a sweet baby angel.
Well,
anyway, so
dancing with the devil right now.
He is dancing with the devil.
In the pale moonlight.
Sure. Yes. So I watched that and loved that. Vox Machina. I've seen the first 6 episodes. Finally, I had a chance to catch up with my mates that we do watchings with once a week, and they're all fans of the show, and so none of us had seen any of it yet, and 2 of the 4 of us have watched Critical Role, so which was great for the experience, because like there were certain characters, like side characters and references and things that you would only know if you've watched the YouTube stuff, or like references to like the Mighty Nein or like other things, and I was just like, I love like watching them react. Was quite fun.
Space
to all that stuff. Yes.
Do you space?
Yes, that was the goddamn one of the big things they reacted to is that guy.
Does she space?
Yeah. But yeah, it's I didn't really like. I meant to rewatch season 2 in the lead up to this because I forgot a lot of it, but I didn't really need to. I found when I started watching it, because they pretty much kind of do a very good job of. They don't recap anything, but you get a very good gist of what the story is anyway, where they are, what the situation is, and what they've got to do. It's basically a MacGuffin hunt this season. So,
as D&D usually is.
Yes. Totally fine. But yeah, it's great to be back in this world with these characters again because they're just so much fun. Grog, as I said, is just a delight to watch, say and do anything. Yeah, and then just having my heart kind of broken with all the non-starter romances that are going on between the members of the team, and like maybe we should people just shouldn't do that. If you're in this party, maybe you guys should just not just be like Scanlan and just go hook up with random women. It's fine. Um,
Yeah,
anyway.
that's healthy.
Yeah, totally healthy. He's got his own issues. My God.
Yes.
Yeah, terrible. But yeah, it's so good. The story's so good. I fucking adored the fight scene between the Hell Beast and the dragon, the ice dragon, at the end of like episode 5 or 6. I can't remember which one it was.
As a kaiju fan, oh my god, that's so good.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Like it was animated so well, and the music was so good. Like it was just oh my god.
Grog said it best. This is the best show ever.
Yeah. yeah, so funny, so great. Yeah, so loving Vox Machina back. It's great. So I gotta catch up with the rest of the episodes because I think it ends next week. The last 3 will drop.
So
yeah,
brace yourself.
I'm excited and nervous. Like I said, excited and nervous. One thing I also watched that Mike, you didn't mention was Agatha All Along.
Fuck.
That's okay.
I put in a penguin when I should have left an Avoca. Damn it. Damn it.
That's okay. I may have done us a favor and may have potentially sort of convinced Fulya to watch it when she comes back from her trip, maybe?
All right.
Did
Sorry,
you?
you're talking to me?
Did you?
I mean,
Are
I'm
these
doubting myself
microphones
now.
working?
Yeah. So I won't spoil anything that happened on this episode. But yeah, it was a really, really good episode, and I messaged another friend who is one of my like other nerd friends I talk to. We bond over Marvel and DC and all same shit that we talk about, and he is kind of fallen off the MCU bandwagon and wasn't really watching Agatha, wasn't really interested, and I'm trying every week, and like on Friday, literally, the episode finished, and I messaged him like, I am once again asking you to watch Agatha All Along, because there was a fantastic cameo that happened in this week's episode that made me really happy. So that was exciting. That was fun.
No fooling.
No fooling.
I was going to say that word, but it's a blatant spoiler
give it
for
away.
it.
Yeah. But I said to Fulya when I saw her on Friday that it's a very good sequel series to WandaVision. So, yeah. If you like WandaVision, you'll like this.
It sort of made sense to have that character come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like he was essential for the first one as well.
Mm-hmm. It made me feel better about that. Because I didn't like that specific thing from WandaVision. Anyway, I'm being very cryptic. So yeah, Agatha was great. I love what they're doing with Joe Locke's character. I can't say who he is because it's a big spoiler for you.
Except for a pop vinyl, but
except for a pop vinyl, and apparently the main after last week's episode, the main page of IGN had his picture with the thing, and like as the picture header for their review. And my friend messaged me like, well, so I know who he is now. I'm like, well, that's just not great, is it? That's not a great time.
Should have been there.
Not a great time. Should have
watched
it, man.
Should have had the time. Should have been there.
But yeah, I really liked learning about how he is who he is, and all of that. The way that they kind of set that up and did that as well. Like it was sort of similar to the Penguin episode. It was a flashback episode.
Yeah.
that kind of filled in the gaps. And so yeah, it was great. I don't know where the hell it's going now, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, I didn't expect his motive.
Mm.
It was like, oh yeah, that's a decent one, because I thought
Yeah.
he was looking for his parents.
Yeah, but no, he's looking for someone else.
Yeah.
So that's
Or parent.
I like it. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Yes, well, Agatha All Along is very enjoyable show. Very, very enjoyable show. Cool. Have I mentioned everything? Yes, that one. Okay, Mike, here we are. I finally saw Joker Folie à Deux.
Okay.
Finally watched it. And I think everyone needs to calm the fuck down.
Thank you.
Because, A, it is not that bad as people are saying it is. Certainly not to get a fucking 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. B, what in the God's name were you guys expecting then for this movie if you don't like it this much? When the movie has pretty much been telling you in trailers and in promos the whole time, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a courtroom thing. It's going to be a surrealist musical. I mean, I think people were expecting original songs. It's basically like 90% jukebox. There's like maybe one new Lady Gaga song, I think. Fine. But like, I don't know what. I think people just got really hyped up because of how good the first one was. The first one was amazing.
I think the studio did as well.
Yeah, they probably did. Yeah, maybe there was some overhype in the marketing too.
Yeah. They probably thought it was a sure thing, but just like the first one, it was very what's the word? Experimental in a way.
Yeah, very experimental. Because that's the other thing. I think people also don't like it because it is so different from the first film. As well. And they want to put it in a box that makes it go, yes, this is another 10 out of 10. Give them all Oscars. Like, fucking, that's going to make $1 billion again. Like, I don't know. I feel like people need to manage their expectations a bit better.
Like, I was coming in.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, I was coming in, like, intrigued of what are they going to do, because I'm not going to be, like, I'm not expecting to be blown my socks off, because I wasn't expecting that, but I thought, oh, that's an interesting take. It's sort of a critique of the first one.
It is, in a way, yeah.
Yeah. And how, I don't know, maybe certain people got butthurt. It's like, oh, you like this thing? Well, you're stupid.
Yeah, basically. And, like, I watched a few YouTube reviews and stuff on it as well, and like one reviewer was just kind of dragging it for like not being comic book accurate, and I was just like,
of what?
What? This movie never went out of its way to say we are doing a comic book faithful adaptation of these characters. Like,
neither was the first one.
Exactly. I was so confused by what this YouTuber was saying. I'm like, what? What do you mean? In what reality was that the movie you thought you were getting?
Oh dear.
So I think a lot of DC fanboys are butthurt over it for that reason, because they were like, Harley would never do this, or like, or this isn't the joke. I'm like, what do you mean? This is not like the movie goes like Arthur Fleck's storyline in this film is him. I guess holding himself accountable for what he did, and separating himself from the Joker mania that the entire world has kind of taken on, because he doesn't want to be a part of that. Like, that's not who he is, even though he thinks that's who he is for a while, and then it's like, oh no, actually it is me, and I'm not crazy. I just hate the world a bit, and I made a bad choice.
Is his realization of the character Joker is someone that he's not. It's like all about fame. It's all about the image that people assume that you are, and that's what the Harley character sort of is idolizing this sort of like behemoth, and it's like the enjoyment of the aspect. And spoilers for the ending, but I don't think Fulya is going to watch this. But
No.
but essentially, Arthur rejected that and thought, well, surely she loves me for me, but no, she loves the idea of the Joker, and essentially rejects him because he made the dream reality, and she didn't want that. So, and by the end, yeah, he it's implied he's not the original Joker. He was the idea for the Joker, and I'm sort of coming to the terms as like, yeah, the Joker could be a moniker. It's not necessarily a set thing, because the comics itself has sort of toyed with the idea of having 3 Jokers. If you know about that, where
I think so. Yeah,
like there's 3 people who are the Joker, and they're all like unnamed, unknown people, but they identify as the Joker, and and it's sort of like taking on the aspect of different eras of the comics, like the Golden Age, the Silver Age, and the New 52, and yeah, so it's sort of dealing with that, where the Joker is an idea. It's not a man. It's not a man. It's an idea. And that's why I think this movie is probably going to be a sleeper. And give it like 10 years and people going, you know what? I didn't like it at the start, but it's sort of growing on me. I mean,
yeah.
I've been watching. I watched an episode of Caravan of Garbage. the title is not it's sort of a non sequitur, but they reviewed like different films. It's not necessarily bad films. It's just the name sort of stuck, and it's called Caravan of Garbage because Caravan of Courage, and they didn't like that film. And they were talking about the John Carpenter's The Thing and how that was a bomb, but history sort of righted itself. And the original The Shining was a bomb, and that was a sleeper. So who knows what happens in 10 years. But at the moment, it's the worst comic book movie ever.
Can't even subscribe to that notion. Like,
bearing in mind, we're in the same timeline as the Suicide Squad is a failure, and Suicide Squad won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Which is the better movie?
Which Suicide Squad are we talking?
The first one.
Without the.
Yeah, without the first one, the bad one, Airs. And the Airs cut doesn't exist.
The one that
Shut the
I
fuck
actually
up.
enjoyed.
Yeah, that won an Oscar. But James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which, okay, opinion based, is the better movie, failed at the box office, so technically a bomb.
It also came out while we were still in the pandemic, so that probably didn't.
Yeah, and WB was doing a weird thing of releasing stuff online, so it's easier to pirate and all that.
Yeah, that's how I watched it.
Same.
Yeah.
Guilty. But
I had to pirate it.
But we were in lockdown. What can we do?
Exactly. I had tickets to go. Literally had bought tickets for people to go to see it. So I can have my free coffee, damn it.
See it? Damn it.
Anyway.
And it gave us Peacemaker.
And it gave us Peacemaker, which is fucking excellent.
And Peacemaker 2, which is still which is going to be in the DCU somehow.
It's all connected. And yeah. Anyway. It's fine. Not connected to the DCU or anything, is this movie, Joker, Fulya do.
No.
I just wanted to add that I kind of really wish they had done. I mean, I get why they made Harley sort of this representative of the Joker madness that took over everyone, like, and how she was in love with the idea of the Joker and she wanted him to be that and all that stuff. Like, and it kind of holds true to her, like, you know, other versions of her in the comics and other things of, like, you know, she's obsessed with the Joker, like she loves him.
Like how she starts out.
Yeah, yeah. But I kind of liked, they sort of hinted at this, you know, because she lies about being a patient and all of this, and, well, like, she checked herself in and out or whatever, but, like, she lies about all this stuff to the Joker and to try and, or to Arthur, to try and, you know, get in his good graces and stuff, and so they could develop a bond. And it's really, you believe it. She's very convincing, and then you find out from Arthur's lawyer that actually she's super rich. She's a psychiatrist, and she's, you know, she's just using you and blah 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 and all this stuff. And I heard all that, and I was like, well, that's also kind of true to Harley's character, because she's a doctor in psychiatry, after all. But it kind of had a really sinister edge to it, and in this movie, and I kind of wish they'd leaned into that more instead of reducing her to this obsessive fangirl.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad about what we got, but I feel like that was a really cool opportunity to do something really kind of messed up with Harley that we've never really seen before. You know, very rarely do we ever see her have the upper hand on the Joker in anything, like, especially in a terms of, like, their dynamic, their relationship, whatever that is. And she was in a position of power over him in this movie. So I don't know, it would have been really interesting if they could have explored that and made her really villainous. But they didn't. I mean, she kind of is the one of the antagonists of the film, if you will, in a way. And Lady Gaga did a very good job. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's just more they could have done, and I still didn't love the fact, even though it makes sense again, for Arthur to reject the Joker identity. I kind of wanted him to lean into it as well for some reason. Like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for bad endings, you know, or like tragic endings, and especially with the way the first film ended as well. It was so bleak and just devastating, and oh my god, that I thought maybe they'd do that again and he would bury himself further inside the madness, and he didn't do that, and that's fine. I'm kind of, you know, I don't mind about it. I don't know.
Well, he was coming close. I mean,
he was very close.
In the first one, Arthur wanted acceptance. He wanted love, and he couldn't get it from anything, not even his own mother. No. So that's the reason why he wanted to be a comedian. He wanted to make people laugh. He wanted to make people feel love for him. But of course, Murray laughed at him and called him an idiot and all this. So he sort of made a moniker for himself because he just snapped one day on a subway and wore the Joker, and that's his moniker. And he thought, people love me. And the ending is like, yes, very touching, very good. And then this one is sort of like, what's the repercussions of becoming the Joker? Incarceration, absolute and manipulation because of the moniker. I mean, the prison guards saying, "Tell us a joke, so you can have a nicotine hit," and all this. So there's a lot of manipulations that he still has, and it's like, and certain characters within the courtroom where he's sort of he became his own lawyer, and he realizes, I can't remember his name, but the guy who witnessed him killing the other guy, and he was the only person who was nice to him because he was nice to him.
Yeah.
That was the turning point. That was the start of the turning point of realizing, I don't want to be the Joker anymore, and what I'm doing is a complete farce. It's a complete and the judge hit the nail on the head of saying this is a courtroom. It's not a stand-up routine. And then he just went, I don't want to do this anymore. He turned
Yeah.
face. He didn't want to do the moniker. And then everything falls down when he gets the conviction, and then everything starts to happen. And the final resting face is sort of the John Lennon ending.
Yeah. Very much a little bit, yeah. Yeah, and my final note, I mentioned before about, DC fanboys complaining. I'm like, this movie had a reference to Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face at the end.
Not really.
Well, half of his face was covered in shrapnel, so...
I mean, my wife doesn't know much about DC or even comic books in general, but she knows that, and she was going, oh, bit of a letdown. It was just gravel on his face. It's like,
yeah,
but no, that's not the point. The point is averting expectations, really, and I enjoy that. I know a lot of people don't. Last Jedi, for instance. But the Harvey Dent character was just a name. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be anything. No. It's like you're expecting him. You're expecting him to throw acid in his face to become Two-Face, but this is not what this movie is.
No, and I didn't expect. I didn't expect them to do anything.
Yeah, either. If you want that, you've already got that in various other iterations. Else. You don't need that.
No,
probably that's probably one of the biggest things of fans don't liking this, because it doesn't follow any blueprint that's already been planned out. I mean, reason being, I didn't really like the Waynes getting murdered at the end of the first one. It's like, you don't need to do that. But you know that story of the original idea of the gunman actually drawing the gun onto Bruce as well and killing him.
Yeah.
And this, and then we have no Batman. I thought, that would have been great. Damn the people who would get pissed off with that, because this is what cinema and film should be. It's not to hold your hand. You should.
No. This
is supposed to make you think, and this is what this movie actually does. That's why. That's why I think this is a sleeper. And not necessarily, it doesn't paint by the numbers. It's like, if you want paint by the numbers, go watch fucking Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel that doesn't really take many risks.
No.
Anymore.
At all.
Yeah, barely at all. Barely at all. Very true. All right, I could keep talking, but let's just put a pin in that.
It's already been an hour.
It's already been an hour. We've done one segment. Look at us go. This is going to be a 4-hour podcast. All right, strap in, folks.
All right.
That's the weekly watchings. It's now time to dive on in to the nerdy news.
This is the news, the nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Nerdy news time, and keeping things DC, but this is DCU. We're going to kick our news off this week with something pretty cool from James Gunn. This week he confirmed to us that we are going to be seeing for the first time the live action version adaptation of Crypto the Superdog, Superman's dog. And I'm just going to read his tweet, what he said, because it's a really, really sweet story. James Gunn said, Crypto arrives on screens in Superman this summer. Crypto was inspired by our dog, Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. Took a long time before he would even let us touch him. I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus, Crypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story as Ozu was changing my life. What better time to debut the not-so-good boy, Crypto, then hashtag adopt a sheltered dog month.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. By the way, he says as well, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy.
That's
Yeah, so sweet. He shared like a really cool image of Superman and Crypto staring at the Earth, and then a picture of James with Ozu, and then a picture
From the
of
comic.
from the comic, Superman and Crypto staring at Earth from the moon. So there's these parallel shots. Yeah, I thought it was really sweet, a really cool way for him to kind of draw attention to a good cause as well, and to announce to us nerds that we're going to get to see Crypto in the movie. I mean, I probably don't think he'll play much of a role. He'll probably just be there, and Clark will have a dog, and it'll be just super cute. And yeah, that might, because like this movie sounds like it is stuffed to the brim with characters at this point that they're introducing. But yeah, it's exciting. It's gonna be very cute. Fulya, do you have any thoughts on Crypto? Are you interested in watching this movie, or you're just banking on a trailer to be like, maybe I'll see this one?
Superman.
Super
Trailer?
Dog.
Probably need a trailer. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be watching it just because DC. DC does not excite me.
But it's Crypto, the super dog.
And this is the good side of DC, you know?
Yeah.
Superman, the glimmer of hope, the
Mm.
person that you strive to be,
I don't
Yes.
strive to
the
be.
goodness, you know. Help out, fellow man. Faster than a speeding bullet.
Truth,
Yeah.
justice, and the American way. Yes.
We work as a team, and we do it my way.
Yeah, no, I need a trailer. Otherwise, I probably won't. I don't know, but it's cute that this is how Crypto got announced. I kind of like the way that he got announced, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, cool. More super pets, sure.
Mm.
Yay for more super bits. Yes. Mike, what do you think of Crypto coming into the DCU?
I'm all for it. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be stuff to the gills. There's going to be a lot of things to juggle." Nah, not really. I think it's just going to be Superman, but he's in the world, and a lot of people know what people are in this, and you don't need a encyclopedia knowledge of the DC world of saying, "Oh, that's that guy. Oh, that's that guy." No, you can just watch it as it is. It's like he's Superman. Clark is actually in this world that's full of people, and it's kind of like Lord of the Rings in a way, where everyone's got a name, everyone and everyone's got a backstory, and it's like, sure, it's fun to say, oh, that's that guy and he does that thing. It's like, no, you can just sit down and watch, and it's like, it's just all these people, and you don't have to, it's just sit down and enjoy it. And having Crypto, I mean, Crypto's just fun. It's just man and his dog, and and it's the cuteness that's coming in, and just the loyalness that Crypto has for Superman as well. I mean, I like the meme that came out that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is hounding James Gunn to say, "Hey, can I just do the barks for Crypto? Because I want to be part of the DC again, please. My career is down the toilet." Anyway, yeah, I'm all for it, and I don't need a trailer to watch this film because it just looks delightful.
It does.
Sweet,
It does look...
sweet and delightful.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
Yeah.
And after, well, a lot of people saying, like, after the Joker, it's like Superman has got to be making bank or else DC is dead.
Yeah. Yeah. If Superman is a bomb, then we're in trouble.
Warner Brothers is in trouble.
Warner Brothers is in trouble.
You know,
well,
you know how many projects that they had to, put on the shelf because of Joker? So much money is in that movie, and looking at it, it doesn't need to be that much. What,
No,
What were they paying for?
I mean, apparently Joaquin Phoenix's paycheck was 20 million,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Lady Gaga.
And Lady Gaga they would have paid her a nice penny as
Yeah.
well. But no, when they made the first film for not that much,
And it made
from
$1
memory.
billion.
And it made $1 billion. Anyway,
But
speaking of Warner Brothers,
speaking of Warner Bros., speaking of Lord of the Rings.
speaking of Lord of the Rings as well, thank you for the multiple segues. Our next item, also, it, can be positive, can be concerning. I'm curious to see both your takes on this. So during the week, there was some talk about how apparently, it looks like a lot of the new Lord of the Rings theatrical films that they're going to be working on, Warner Brothers. We already know about one of them, but they're looking at putting Gandalf in most of them, or involving him in the story in some way, whether it's big, whether it's small. But they want Gandalf to feature heavily. It's very, very, very likely. It's not confirmed, but I think it's basically confirmed that we're going to be seeing Sir Ian McKellen reprising his role as Gandalf in The Hunt for Gollum when that comes out. And that's, I'm still really curious about that movie, how that's going to go. It raises a lot of flags for me, but that's fine. I'll just be like, you know what? I'm just going to switch off and just enjoy a Peter Jackson produced, Andy Serkis directed Middle-earth set movie. I'm just going to bathe in it. But yes, just a friendly reminder to everyone. Sir Ian McKellen is 85. He says he's keen to play Gandalf and keep playing Gandalf as long as, the Lord will let him.
Body willing.
Body willing, exactly. So that's promising, I suppose, as well. But yeah, there's another live action film in the works after this Hunt for Gollum film, and yeah, they want Gandalf to feature prominently. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just concerned. I'm just concerned about what it feels like. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much more that they could be doing. I mean, I talked about this when we talked about the Hunt for Gollum when that was announced, but like, there's just so many other stories in Middle Earth they could tell, especially when this is a story that is set basically just like, when the Fellowship of the Ring movie is about to start. Like, it's literally takes place on the back of that. And you want to try and bring back all these actors from 25 years ago when you film this thing, and they're not going to look like that anymore. And yes, we have technology that could maybe make them look like that, but for a whole movie, I don't know.
Except for Elijah Wood, he looks the same.
He's aged very nicely.
Yeah,
I will say. I mean, most of them have, like, the younger, all the Hobbit actors still look pretty great, for their ages, but like, not all of them. And it's fine. It is what it is. This movie's happening whether I like it or not. Like I said, I'm just going to enjoy it and touch all the wood that Ian McKellen lives to, be a part of all of their plans. Because then it would just be really sad if that doesn't come to pass. But Warner Brothers is going Warner Brothers. So let's just roll with it. Yeah, Fulya, what do you think about this? Do you have similar concerns to myself, or what do you make of all this?
Look, I feel like they could just get someone else, in honesty, if they really need someone to be a Gandalf in the new Lord of the Rings films. But if Sir Ian McKellen's really keen on doing it, then I wouldn't see a problem with it. It just really depends on what ability he has to do certain things in the film.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's just pretty much going to be standing in one spot, doing a lot of things and dialogue. Mostly, I don't see him doing very much action these days.
Putting his face on a stunt double.
Yeah,
They'll stunt double him.
AI.
I mean,
Yeah. Look, I'm okay with it if they really want Sir Ian McKellen to be part of the project, but yeah, like you, I'm a little worried about his abilities, and he's getting older in his age and he's getting a bit more frail, and it's going to be a lot harder to do a lot of the things that he used to do. So, and especially considering that a lot of the Rings happened 20 years ago.
Well, they commenced filming 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So he was
So-
25 years younger then.
Quarter of
Yeah.
a century ago.
Yeah, that makes you feel. Yeah.
Oh man, but look, I wouldn't say no to someone new.
Well,
be
I
honest.
mean, they just confirmed Gandalf in the Rings of Power. So there's gonna be two Gandalfs on screen at the same time, one in TV and one in the movies. And Mike is blowing.
Yeah, doesn't like it.
We're gonna have so much Gandalf. It's gonna be insane.
Mr. Trick.
Yeah, I know.
Could
Don't
have been
worry.
more interesting.
All right, then
Yeah.
regale us with your thoughts, Michael. What do you think about this news?
Cool Day's getting more work, but please make it good, quick, and justifiable. And I can do a pretty decent Gandalf impression, so hey, look at me. I'll take a dead man's job. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of dead
Oh,
man
God.
doing jobs,
I just have to say that I really like the way you said, just quick and justifiable. It's just, you hit the nail on the head. Justifiable. I don't think that's a word Hollywood understands.
Yeah.
Justifiable. But yes, our next item in the news. Yes, so we've known for a little while now that Amazon is working on a God of War TV series. They're adapting the games, very popular game series. I'm actually really interested to watch this show. However, there's been a bit of a snafu, a bit of a setback, because the showrunner and the producers have all left the project. Yeah, so it seems that there must have been some, creative differences, in terms of what Sony, who's Sony Pictures are producing this with Amazon, what they wanted for the show versus what the showrunner and the producers wanted. So yeah, now they're trying to take it in a different direction. So we don't really know what direction originally it was and where it's going to be now. But when we see it on our screens in a couple of years, we'll know. We'll know what we ended up getting, but not what we not what we originally were going to get. But yeah, they because they haven't really said much about this show so far. We haven't really gotten a lot of news around it since it was first announced in 2022. So, but no, I'm still excited. Like, it's not. This situation made me think of the whole Avatar Netflix live action adaptation when the original anime, the animated guys, the creators left that show because they were working on that show with them, and they were like, no, we don't like what you're doing, and then they fucked off. It made me think of that, but I'm like, no, I don't think this is exactly like that, because it doesn't really seem to mention anyone like involved from the games. I suppose, like, it's not like these guys were, we wrote the games or whatever. It's like it's not like Neil Druckmann leaving Last of Us. It's not,
yeah.
It's not a situation like
Then
that.
you know you're in
So-
trouble.
Then you know you're in trouble. My God, if that ever happened, we'd be done for. But yeah, so that, I don't know, kind of hasn't really knocked away any of my hope for this show. It could still be really good. Mike.
So, so someone said, why don't we make Abby the good guy? I was trying not to spoil anything, but
I know.
because I know where you're up to, and you think Abby's a bad person. But why don't we make her the good guy of the story?
Oh,
Cryptic, maybe.
Cryptic maybe.
And he said no.
That's not what we're doing. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still on board for this. I'm still excited, and you know, we're still a long way away from seeing or hearing much more about it. But just hope that it's good. Just hope that it's good, and hope that this doesn't spell doom for the show. But we'll
Quick,
see.
easy, and
Justifiable.
justifiable. Put that on a t-shirt.
I was literally about to say, put it on a damn t-shirt. Fulya, are you feeling like this could be quick, easy, and justifiable?
I don't know. This might actually take a while. Considering the fact that they have to start from scratch now, they have to find a new writers team. They have to find a new showrunner. It's gonna be pretty tight in terms of, you know, turnaround to try and get a whole new team together to get this show at least in the pre-production stage in some way. Because right now they're really just losing time, and the longer they delay this process, the more I don't know, upset the fans might get,
Or even out of
Considering
the zeitgeist. 'cause-
yeah, exactly. Like it's probably going to be forgotten by the time they get this thing up and running and being like, hey, look, the show's now ready for you to watch. But I don't know. I'm hoping that they find someone quickly. But by the sounds of
Easily.
things, it was definitely a creative direction thing that Amazon wanted to take, and that the previous producers and showrunners were like, "No, we don't like the way you're going with that." So Sony is apparently still staying on board with them because they are the ones who are mostly producing it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who they get on board with this. It's probably going to be maybe someone they find from Amazon, most likely a showrunner from Amazon potentially. But at least the team at Santa Monica Studios will be playing their part as, you know, executive producers as well. So they'll also have a say as to where things go in what direction, hopefully. But yeah, look, I'm still in the middle of my playthrough of God of War 2018. I'm pretty close to the end of the story, I think. Apparently, I'm about 80% done, so I have another 20% left. This is a big game. It's a long game, and I wasn't expecting it to be this long. But anyway, yeah. I could definitely see where this could go in terms of, like, it could be very, very good quality if they go similar to what The Last of Us did. If they can go in good quality in that sense as well, then they've got a good show on their hands. But then again, Amazon did also do Fallout, and that's been getting a lot of high praises as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm sure they'll find someone quickly enough. But who that person's going to be is to be seen.
Indeed. Mike, what are you thinking? Any additional thoughts on this God of War series?
Yeah, it doesn't sound good, but this is only just a bump in the road. But the proof is in the pudding of when it comes out. If they're going to follow the 2018 version of God of War, because there's also the original Gods of War, which I've played a little bit of. That's more slash and dash and all that. Will they do like the story of Kratos or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Kratos. But I feel like they might do maybe like flashbacks to those moments in time.
Yeah, that would be
if they
cool.
do the series. But I don't know whether they do a full-on, like, this is the prequel of what God of War 2018 is, so...
No.
Yeah.
If they were going to do that, they'll probably do a mixture of both. It's like... Because, yeah, the 2018 God of War was big, and there's also those fans of the originals as well. It's
Yeah,
like, it would be
there
cool
is.
if they sort of mesh it all together somehow in a great big cake.
The other thing that I will mention, there are some rumors going around that they are remastering the original 3 God of Wars,
Ooh.
like the games. So maybe they're gonna do kind of like a coincide with the show kind of a release. I don't know how far away they are in terms of finishing it, like the remaster of it. But I don't know. Like,
yeah, they did something similar with the Fallout, but with Fallout 76.
Yeah,
they put in some new stuff and they put in some sort of Easter eggs from the TV show that's in the game now.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. I haven't played any of it, but I've got a PS4 now, so I can get a
You can
copy.
experience it for sure.
Get a copy, mate. Is the new God of War's on PS4?
The 2018 one you can definitely get on PS4.
Cool.
Ragnarok, I think should be on there as well.
Sweet.
Ragnarok should be
sure it
on
is.
PS4. Yeah.
Hey, it's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas, so get no Christmas presents. And you guys work at a shop that sells games.
We do.
Keep an eye out on your mailbox.
Hey, you don't know my email address.
I said a mailbox, actual postal mailbox, physical, because I know you like physical media.
Yeah. Way things are going.
Oh boy.
I don't play Fallout for the entertainment. I play Fallout for the ideas. I'm
If
collecting
you want to
all
play
these
the
hobble-
original God of Wars, though, I think you can buy those digitally.
Oh no, I think I got.
The PlayStation
Hold
store,
on.
I think. Unless you have them on the original, like, was it PS2?
PS2. I got God of War 2
Yeah.
that
Okay.
I can see. Yeah, just 2. Only 2.
Just 2?
I
Okay.
got 2.
All right.
You want to see it? I got it. I
No,
got it.
it's fine.
Okay.
Uh,
Ooh,
Okay.
wow.
see it all backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Backwards for
The
you.
original Kratos.
Um,
My Kratos.
Hashtag your Kratos.
I am Kratos.
Okay. We got one more thing to talk about in the news. Just quickly, because this really interests me, and I'm curious for Mike's thoughts on this. This week it was announced that that we're going to be getting a new adaptation in Psycho. Mike's making these expressions right now that it's kind of how I'm feeling as well. Because for my money, I still haven't read the book, but by all accounts, the 2000 adaptation starring Christian Bale in sort of a career. I know his career didn't begin then, but that was really when he took off, was with this movie. That movie's amazing from start to finish, in my opinion. I think it's an excellent psychological thriller. And Christian Bale is just insane in that. And I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna get anyone that's gonna successfully inhabit Patrick Bateman again and tell the same story. But I mean, maybe do it differently, I guess. Because I guess, a lot of things get lost in book adaptations, as we know, and books generally are better than the movies in some cases, most cases. So maybe there'll be some stuff in the book that they'll tackle this time or do differently. I don't know. The only thing that has me intrigued is the director that they've chosen to do this, and that is Luca Guadagnino, who did Challenges and Suspiria and Call Me by Your Name, Bones and All. He has sort of dipped his toes into horror and thriller a little bit, and he does a lot of psychological sort of stuff too. He's a very interesting filmmaker. He's Italian. He's very talented. So visually, yeah, visually, he's visually very much sort of an auteur sort of director, and yeah, I'd be really curious to see his take on this story. So that's the only reason I'm gonna watch this at all. I think is because it's him directing. Because I saw his take on Suspiria. That's a remake he did of a classic 70s horror movie that I've also seen. And his version was very different in a lot of ways, but also very similar. But I didn't mind it. So we'll see how it goes this time around. But I feel sorry already for the poor soul who has to fill Christian Bale's shoes. Like, I just don't see it ending well. I don't know. I mean, there's so many fucking talented people out there. They could pull it off, and it would be amazing. No one really thought Heath Ledger could play the Joker before we saw that movie. How is he going to beat Jack Nicholson? Well, he's going to just do a completely different version of the character. So maybe that's what we'll get.
I've seen a meme that completely pisses me off.
Oh no.
They had a look at the Joaquin Phoenix Joker from the second one, and then they looked at Jared Leto's Joker. It's like, maybe we judged you too harshly. No! 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 Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's a stupid meme. Yeah. Those are my thoughts, basically. How are you feeling about this? Less optimistic than myself, more annoyed?
Well,
excited?
No, I didn't know who was going to direct it, but yeah, Luca would be interesting because quintessentially he does some very interesting movies. Call Me by My Name is very queer orientated, and he's got a movie called Queer. But Suspiria, the sort of remake from the 70s one, people have said that it's definitely on par with the first one, and it's a good what's the word? A complementary version of it as well. That sort of takes it in different places, and it doesn't really poo-poo the original, which is good. But when you first told me that it was going to be an adaptation, it was like, how? Because the original takes place in a certain area of the world, like during the 80s, 90s, sort of the yuppie era, where these business guys thought they could, they were untouchable because they're big business and got so much money, and it's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. It's like that sort of lifestyle isn't around now. I mean, you could probably change it to like Crypto Bros or something like that for a sort of a new take. And yeah, you could probably do it like a bit more of a queer lens as well. Like the original was sort of a feminist take as well, because I'm trying to remember the original director, but she
Mary Herron.
Yeah, she does a lot of feminist takes on stuff, and if you see it through a feministic lens, it's sort of making fun of men who are like that, and it's kind of funny that a lot of guys are saying, yes, Patrick Bateman is the quintessentially the man, the alpha male. It's like, no, we're making fun of you. Don't you get it? And yeah. And sort of like that. So could work, I guess. I
don't think they're gonna do. I think it's gonna be a period piece still. I don't think they'll modernize it. Because I don't think, like you've just pointed out, I don't think it works.
Yeah.
Contemporary.
Yeah.
As a contemporary piece. I don't know. Or it won't be as effective, I guess.
Unless it's like a cautionary tale sort of thing, like this is what happened, but you can sort of see similarities to what happens nowadays with the sort of the econ, like sort of way, the way that the economy is going. That's going more tech savvy. It's like Silicon Valley and all this stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's sort of a weird mess. So it would be an interesting take to go wherever with that sort of thing. So I don't know. I'm sort of I don't know, optimistic, but I'm not poo-pooing it, so which is a big first. But still, make some new stuff. Don't just rehash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
that movie's been memed to hell. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll never be able to recreate the glory of comparing the color and texture of business cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, swear.
Fucking great film.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
you should watch it, Fulya. It's really good film.
Yeah.
Have a laugh.
Have a laugh. Yeah.
Is it real? Or is it all in his head?
That's the question. Did he really kill all those people? You never know.
All those
Jared Leto
women?
really? All those women and Jared Leto get an axe in the back.
Oh, I
Who
wish.
knows? No.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Should have killed him.
No. Let's move on to our next segment, which is, of course, where we roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
Okay, it's trailer park time, and another DC thing to talk about this week. So much DC. I suppose New York Comic Con happened, so that also helps. Creature Commandos has gotten a second trailer. Nothing really too much to add, I think, in terms of updating from the first trailer we got. I think I liked the first trailer more. But this one was kind of more of a, like, let's introduce the members of the Commandos a little bit and, like, tell everyone a brief summary of who they are and you know, what they can do and all of this stuff. And so that's, yeah, I don't, it looks great, is all I can say. I think it looks amazing. I love the animation style. I like how violent it is. That's a bit of fun.
I like violence.
I like violence.
I like all the violence.
So it just looks fantastic to me. Like, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable show. I think the story is going to be really, really cool. You know, especially because it's a James Gunn project. So that's exciting. And you know, I just can't wait to see Alan Tudyk be a glowing skeleton.
Is he doing his British version?
A glowing alien.
Because I think he's American in this. I think he gets to do his own voice in this. I don't think it's British, at least from what I heard in the trailer. Anyway, I could be wrong. But yeah, so I'm here for Alan as well. There's lots of cool things in this show to look forward to, and I'm so curious as to how it all connects with, you know, Viola Davis back as Amanda Waller. Because I'm guessing this takes place before the events of both Suicide Squad movies. Because we're dealing with Rick Flag Sr. here, not Junior. So I'm guessing this takes place quite a few years, maybe, before the events of those movies. So that's interesting as well. But yeah, I can't wait. It's exciting. Does Fulya have any thoughts on this?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
This kind of reminds me of Invincibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too much violence. I don't care if it's cartoon violence. It's just too much.
You're like, I don't need to see the inside of people's heads. It's fine.
Or have their guts ripped out.
Yeah.
No. It was a heart.
Still guts.
Vital organ.
Yeah, look, as much as I would like to watch it, I know I'm gonna be too squeamish in seeing all the things that happen. So I don't know. Again, it's a
fair.
DC thing. It's not really something that I'm really interested in.
You need to get over this phobia that you have for DC.
Phobia. It's just not
Your-
intriguing
Yeah,
me
your
in
phobia.
terms of
Scared.
the stories and whatever. That's all.
Scared.
I'm not.
Scared.
It's just not for me.
How do you know if you don't try?
I've tried in the past. Okay. I
Try
have.
again.
Try again. You haven't seen this.
Yeah, this is new. This is different. This is quick. This is easy. This is justified.
Boy. This is exactly. Damn. Trey.
Well, are you gonna be watching it, Michael?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Day
Tell
one.
us, Mike. Tell us. Day one. Yes.
Yes. All my favorite guys are in it. Girls and guys. Maria Bakalova and David
Yeah.
Harbour.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk, I guess. No, he's alright. And Sean Gunn playing Weasel again.
Yeah, we love it.
How old is Weasel?
Yeah.
He's also played GI Robot though.
Oh yeah, true. He's got to do a real voice, except for Weasel's.
Well, he's being more robotic voice as GI Robot, from what I could tell from the trailer.
Are you a Nazi? Killing Nazis. I don't mind that. Yeah, I can't wait. It looks fantastic. And yeah, just a bunch of creatures going all commando, which is in the name. I like it. And the first thing to come out for the DCU
Yes.
officially. Superman's the first movie, but this is the new taste. This is the new avant-garde, the new thing for it. So I can't wait. So when is this coming out, Kendall?
Yes. Well, Creature Commandos will be airing very soon. I believe, even though I couldn't find an exact Australian release date, but I would guess, judging by when it's dropping in the US, we'll get it on or around the 5th of December on Binge.
Good Christmas show.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just what you want for Christmas. Cartoon violence.
Cartoon violence, couple of monsters taking on bad guys.
Bad guys. Yeah. Yeah. Wholesome.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to our next trailer, which is something that might be slightly more in the wholesome category, maybe. This is a movie called The Electric State. I need more. I need to see more of this. I'm like really interested on a surface level with this one because it's original. It's an original story, an original world, and even though it's clearly talking about robot apocalypse and stuff, but it's a new take on that, I guess. We've got Millie Bobby Brown, we've got Chris Pratt. That's great. But the thing that excites me the most is the fact that this is a Russo brothers movie, and it was also written by Stephen Marcus and Christopher McFeely, or Stephen Marcus. Wait, Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely. Whichever way you say their names.
The second one.
I can't. The second one. I got it right the second time, didn't I? Thank you. Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely. Anyway. Now I don't know anymore. Anyway, it's we're bringing the band back together. We've got the Avengers team, creative team on this movie. So that's really cool. So that's pretty much where my excitement begins. For this. Other than that, I don't know. I wanted more from this teaser. I don't know. It didn't. Other than that, it just didn't really. I want to understand more about what's happening. What's going on with this world? Like, she's trying to find her brother, I guess, and the world is not a great place. And it looks like a prequel to WALL-E, maybe. Like, just in terms of humans switching off from the world and not connecting with each other. Maybe it's foreshadowing for our future. commentary on that. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting kind of concepts in here, and it looks cool, and the designs of all the different robots are like, you know, stuff you don't usually see in films like this. So it kind of has like an 80s vibe to it as well. Like, it might, I don't know if it takes place in the 80s, because I've seen shots of Chris Pratt in this movie and he's got like wild like hair going on and a mustache, and I'm just like, okay, what is this?
Pretty wavy sort of beach hair.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Could I tell you a little bit about it? Because I did a crash course in looking up some stuff about it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, apparently it's based on a graphic novel that came out in 2018. Same. It depicts like an alternate reality from the year 1997. So that would mean everyone who looks like from the 80s or the 90s sort of thing, all the fashion sort of stayed from 1997. So and yeah, so it's a dystopian science fiction illustration where I think it was like a robotic uprising, and so they sort of had semi-civil war and everything went to shit apparently, and that's mostly what the story is. Sort of an aftermath of that war between human and robot, and it takes place with where is it? Michelle, which is the Millie Bobby Brown character, and her toy robot that's travelled west through a dystopian American landscape where the ruins of gigantic battle robots called drones litter the countryside. Yeah.
And everybody's stuck in the world of VR.
Yeah, with the big heads. Like everyone who is all... Yeah. It's kind of a trend now.
Yeah, they all look like giant whistles for half a second. The way that they were just shaped. Giant
It's weirdly shaped, but I suppose that's what they may have tried to make it look like in the 90s, if that was a thing.
Yeah, like the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Mike.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the aesthetic and like the robot stylings sort of based on like the graphic novels. So Russo's are taking some comic stuff and making it their own, which they've done before.
They have done before. They have some experience in that area.
Yeah.
Yes.
From stuff that eludes me right now.
Yeah, I can't think of what it is at all. Yeah. Don't even.
Some
No,
trash.
maybe some trash. No. Fulya, save me. What did you think of this trailer?
Mildly intrigued with this particular trailer. It looks interesting, and some familiar faces in it, and being that it's also a kind of a unique-ish kind of take on a dystopian sort of apocalyptic world. It looks interesting, so I don't know. I kind of like the look of it in a way. The fact that there's also a little bit of humor as well kind of makes it a little bit better too. And I mean, robots and humans kind of either working together or against each other. We don't know. That's kind of what I want to learn about. You know, and then seeing, you know, Stanley Tucci and Giancarlo Esposito and Ki-Hu Kwan. It's gonna be really cool.
Good cast.
Yeah, very good cast. So I don't know. I'm mildly intrigued. So I might need maybe a little bit more of a trailer like you, Kendall, just to sort of get an idea of where the story's gonna go. Other than that, I mean, looks cool.
It does look cool. It does look cool. Thank you. Mike, tell us what you thought of the trailer now. What did you think of the trailer for this?
Yeah, it looks aesthetically pleasing. I mean, it definitely has a vibe going for. I wouldn't mind like see if I can find the graphic novel and seeing what the story is all about. If it's like a cross country sort of journey from one area to another to find something, or that's the main sort of story. So they didn't want to explain it too much in the trailer. But I don't know. The biggest pull, Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's changed her name because she's now married, which is weird. I knew her since she was a little girl. It's weird.
I know. And she's married to Bon Jovi's son.
She's married to Bon Jovi. What?
Yeah.
Never mind. Cut it out. Yeah, and Chris Pratt's in this, looking quite different from his usual garb. So hopefully he'll act different. Who knows? Yeah, it just looks cool. The robots look fun. There's probably a reason for that. And yeah, and people are too clued into technologies. So, cautionary tale. And also an alternative history. Sort of, no, what's it? A fork in the road of history of what's happened. So, I'm all for it. When is it? Before I burp.
When is it coming out? Well, The Electric State will be dropping next year on Netflix on the 14th of March.
So march on down to your Netflix and get it.
Yes.
Physical copies only.
Physical copies only. Alright, we got one more trailer to talk about. And this is something that I'm really excited for. It's probably my favorite trailer of the bunch. This is, of course, the upcoming series Dune Prophecy.
Trying to do the whole thing without waking up my kids.
Yeah, good luck. Yes. Listen, Al Gaib. So this is a spin-off series from the Denis Villeneuve movies. That universe, it's connected. However, it does take place like 10,000 years before.
So we're not going to see anyone we know?
Not really, but we're gonna understand references and connections.
So no egregious cameos? Unjustifiable cameos?
No, this will be justifiable. I think. Yeah, this isn't based on anything that Frank Herbert wrote. There's no book. It's an original story.
There's a not to actually, but it's
no. Please, I'm actually me. Go ahead.
Based on a book called The Sisterhood of Dune, which was written by his son. So after Frank died, so
I'm technically right still.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also not. Also,
but there is a book that's based on.
There is a book. Okay, I swear I read it wasn't based on a book. Okay.
By Frank.
Well, it's not based on a book by Frank.
a lot of people are saying, "Well, it's not by Frank; it's by his son who's trying to, bank on his dead, whatever."
Okay, well, thanks for correcting me.
Because Tolkien never did
that. We wouldn't have the bloody Silmarillion if not for his son, so which means I wouldn't have the Rings of Power. So.
Maybe it's a good thing.
Hey. I was gonna make a Rings of Power reference with this, but now I don't have to because I got to talk about it for a second. Anyway.
I fell into your trap.
Yes,
I put my hand in that box and it started to hurt.
Yeah, so speaking of, this show is centered on the Bene Gesserit. So if you've seen the Dune movies, you're familiar with the Dune universe, then you know that these are the sisters, this sisterhood of basically witches, I guess, but more spiritual and that, and they, seem to believe themselves to be in control of the fates and destinies of everything and shaping the way events are supposed to play out and all this stuff.
Kind of like the witches from Star Wars.
That's where they got it from.
Yeah, the fucking what were they called again? The witches in Star Wars. Are you talking about the ones from the Acolyte, or are you talking about the ones from
Both.
Rebels?
Just
Rebels,
them.
both, yeah.
yeah, just witches in
ones
general.
The ones in
In
the
tune
ones in
with the
Rebels.
Force. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the name.
I think I'm referring to the ones that are more from the Rebels.
Yeah, they had goddamn, they had a name. Where were they from?
The Bene Gesserit.
The Bene Gesserit.
But they called themselves the Sisters.
The Night Sisters of Dathomir.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, thank you. All right. We're here. Thank you. Yes, kind of like that.
So yes.
That was a long way to a short path. Anyway, yes. So this looks really, really cool. I'm a big fan of the Denis Villeneuve movies. I think they're excellent and exceptional and just so visually arresting. And this series is definitely continuing that visual sort of touchstones, if you will. Like, you know, it seems they've given them a lot of money, it seems, because they, you know, made the sandworms. I've forgotten what they're fucking called too. Oh, I love these movies. I know everything what they're called.
This is based on nothing. Oh, there's a book.
I'm just not remembering things right now. But anyway, it all looks very, very cool. And you know, you've got speaking of I need to get my cast. Yeah. So speaking of Mark Strong, as I did many minutes ago, but yeah, Mark Strong's in this. He's playing the Emperor of the whole thing. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it looks great. It looks very intriguing. It looks, I don't know. I kind of can't wait to see this play out. Like, it feels sort of like a Game of Thronesy sort of fantasy, sci-fi, political drama sort of situation. I don't know. It looks great. I'm just on board, and I kind of want it hooked up to my veins right now. You know,
drink that blue juice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really intrigued by this, so I can't wait. I will be watching this for sure. Mike.
Yes.
I've skipped Fulya. Fulya.
If you like.
I'm gonna leave now. Bye. Fulya, what did you think?
Interesting. Have no clue what's going on because I haven't watched the movies or read the books, so probably not for me.
But it's a prequel, so you can jump on board without getting spoiled.
It kind of feels like it's gonna be very Game of Thronesy kind of a situation. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to get back into something like that again. So I'm good.
But this is spit in space.
Space.
This is Space of Thrones.
Do you space? Space.
Space. No, fair enough, Fulya. That's fair enough. Cool. Well, Mike, what did you think of this trailer? Are you interested to check this out?
Oh, keen as a bean. Yeah, it takes place like before, like basically everything, as well as sort of precursor to when they shunned technology and when all audio and humans did all the calculations and stuff. So it's sort of with that where they sort of with the humans being more reliant on technology, and they sort of went, no, we can't do this because it's very easily the human race can definitely fall on its ass, and when we're relying too much on technology. I've heard that before. I think previous stuff that we've been talking about. Essentially, it's like WALL-E, and essentially, we can't rely too much on technology, or even digital versions of stuff. Maybe we should set ourselves on for physical media or something like that. I've heard that before. I don't know where. Yeah. So this takes place like 10,000 years in the past, where this is like the forming of the Bene Gesserit and their reach and their forms of power and political political manipulation. This is like the start of the Emperor as well, the Empire, and also they're going to deal with the sort of blood rivalry with the Arconans and the Toydarians. I can't remember words. Yeah, that's hard too. I'm a Toydarian. The tricks don't work on me. Star Wars. Anyway, yeah, I'm all for this and where it can go, and just to have more Dune. And just to have more Dune, so we can just wait for the Messiah to come back. Yeah, I really hope we get to see people who are just freaky looking. I can't wait for that. Like the Navigators. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, holy shit.
Have you seen a Navigator?
I may have seen a illustration of one, or maybe like didn't David Lynch do them?
Yeah, in the first bit where they talk about the
yeah.
Navigator, and it's like this blobby human that's been manipulated with like stuff, and it's like because they need those sort of people to actually do like travel through space time. So because there's no computers anymore, so they have to do it in their head, and there's these big heads and and very vaginal looking faces. Yeah.
We love to see it.
We love to see vaginal, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of vaginal, when is this coming out?
Well, Dune Prophecy will be birthed on Binge. I had to do it. It's going to be on Binge from the 18th of November, so just under a month from now.
Yes. Can't wait.
Can't wait. It's going to be good. All right, speaking of good, it's time
for
the moment.
Oof.
The segment.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Section.
Finally.
The part. Fulya is like, I can just get on with it. What segment is it, Fulya? Tell them.
It's a plot.
It's a plot.
Get to the plot.
Popcorn culture.
At
Holding
last.
that one in for a while.
God damn. All right. So it's pop culture time. We have arrived here to discuss two. Hey, it wouldn't be us if we went 2 hours into a podcast and then get to our main topic.
It's alright. I don't have much to say. I'll just do one-word sentences.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, we are here to talk about Only Murders in the Building. 2 episodes to discuss this week. We're going to be talking about Valley of the Dolls and Lifeboat, the 2 most recent episodes. So let's just dive in, shall we? Talk about Valley of the Dolls. This was an interesting one. This episode was a bit of fun, bit of silly fun. Just kind of crazy the way it kind of all played out. Like, and how somehow Charles's sister Doreen is just kind of at the center of so much stuff going on. She gets herself kind of involved in almost every storyline in a way. But yeah, really cool to see Melissa McCarthy show up in the show. Whether you love her or you don't love her, that's up to you. But I kind of enjoy her humor for the most part. But yeah, so she was a delight. She was a delight in this episode. And yeah, it was good to see some development and conclusion, if you will, I suppose, to the Loretta and Oliver tense situation that's been going on for the last few episodes. I was very, 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 very glad to see that come to a resolution.
Yeah.
After all that nonsense. So that's good as well. Yeah, and just I love Molly Shannon. I I'm so glad they put her in this show. Like even though Bev Mellon is an absolute twat, she's just so enjoyable to watch. I really had a good time with her in this
beg to
episode.
differ.
So yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Well, maybe we'll get to it now. Fulia, what did you think of this episode on the whole?
Ah, dude, when I first watched this episode, I think I wasn't really jiving with it for the first half of this episode. And then when I think the second half of the episode was where I was like, okay, all right, I think now I'm getting into it. Yeah, I don't know. This particular episode was just a bit interesting, a bit weird. Melissa McCarthy's Doreen was an acquired taste. But I will give her props to the fact that when it came down to the drama parts, she actually did those well. Like the serious lines and those scenes, especially with Charles, which was really interesting. But yeah, she's just like, she can be so full on with her comedy. Oh man. Nah, it was but especially considering the fact that as soon as her name Doreen was mentioned, my brain just went to Doreen. Literally, that's what my brain went for whatever weird reason, and I was just like, no, stop. Even though it's technically Jolene.
Yes. It just rhymes.
It just does. It works.
Well, technically, Jolene actually turns up in Agatha all along.
Yeah.
We get to find
Yeah,
out who
true.
Jolene is.
That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I'm not a fan of Bev Mellon at all. I just want to slap her out a lot of the times.
That's
I'm not a
totally
fan.
fair.
Yeah. And then we've got our actors coming in, Zach, Eugene, and Eva, and I'm just like, cool. Everybody's rocking up. Howard, why?
Hey, why? You had one job, buddy.
One job. He couldn't even bloody keep a secret.
Yeah.
Oh man. Technically, he had two jobs, but one of them he just couldn't shut his mouth about. It's fine. But yeah, no, it was not my favorite episode. We'll just put it that way.
Interesting. Mike, what did you make of Valley of the Dolls?
Yeah, it was quite literally a departure from the building that has murders in it. So yeah, quite an interesting episode where it takes place in a different place and not just in New York either. So good departure, probably not. But it didn't really add much to it. I think it was just a bit of fun and just to get McCarthy in it, which I don't mind her comedy sometimes. Here nor there, but yeah, she can do like the sort of serious stuff as well. Like one of my favorite movies that she's in is St. Vincent's. That's got Bill Murray in it as well, which that's a bit of fun as well. It's definitely got a couple of humor things, but it's more leaning towards the dramedy side movie. So yeah, that's a good one. We should check it out. It's good. But yeah, it sort of made me realize the reason why I kind of like this show. It's sometimes for like murder mystery sort of stuff, you need to deal with like the serious drama and not take it and need to take it seriously, especially for an audience trying to pinpoint where things are going and trying to reach the conclusion before before the show, like Agatha Christie and all that, and everything that's in it is essential. But you don't know. But for this one, it's more of a comedy. So you're trying to laugh at the quips, at the jokes, but you're trying to think: is this actually part of the red herring, or is this an actual essential thing as well? Like dolls, okay, that's a good joke, but is this part of the overarching story for the murder mystery? It's weird. It's it's definitely off kilter, and that's why I kind of like this show, because you don't know which, and it's frustrating as well as it's also enjoyable at the same time. And you know, these sort of people that just have dolls in their rooms. It's like empty nester trying to fill that void, and you click that character very well. So overall, yeah, it's not one of my favorites, but very essential to get the fam to reconnect with the actors, and the actors sort of pull their weight, as it were.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because one of my things I was worried about as I was watching the episode was like, are we gonna do much plot here? Are we gonna develop the case a bit, or is this literally just gonna be a detour episode? So I was really glad they kind of brought it back around at the end, and with Howard and everything. So so that was good. But yeah, as you guys have been talking, I've kind of come to a conclusion that this episode really kind of feels like, let's find a way to write Melissa McCarthy into this show. Like, because it does feel very different in that sense of, like, you know, it doesn't feel exactly like the show, because it's, you know, they had to leave New York to come here into this house, and we've never really heard Charles talk about Doreen before. I'm sure she's been mentioned, but there's never, I don't know, just the way that she's such a caricature character, I guess, is just feels very different from everything else in the show, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying that I didn't like it, but I'm not saying I loved it either, I suppose. It was just, I'm glad, like you guys mentioned, the the serious moments, you know, the conversations that she had with, you know, Charles especially, just to kind of learn a bit more about him through her, and you know, the two of them kind of coming to an understanding by the end was really good too. Yeah, so but yeah, the dolls the dolls were a lot. Even for me, and I'm fine with dolls. Like, I don't really find too many of them creepy. Like, it depends, like, if you know, if they're in a dark room and you walk past and you're like, okay, that's empty eyes staring at me.
As someone who has a mother who owns those type of dolls in a cabinet, actually find them too creepy when they're in a cabinet. It's
Okay.
fine. They're
Right.
there.
Mm-hmm.
When it's spread out and there's like hundreds of them throughout the whole house, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, and for me too, like, I don't like the really big ones.
Yeah,
Like,
those ones I can't. The human-sized ones, no.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I'm just no. Why? That's creepy. I feel. I don't know. And
That's Megan style creepy.
that was Megan style creepy.
Annabelle,
Yeah, Annabelle. Yeah,
Chucky,
just
Slappy from Goosebumps. Oh no, he was a ventriloquist dummy. Never mind.
yeah, that's all right. I got the reference. Yeah, just too creepy and too weird. And I found it kind of funny and in a, I don't know, in a weird way when, like, I think, was it Oliver that helped make the connection of, like, oh, you've just replaced all your
Yeah, it was Oliver, yeah.
Yeah, you replaced all of the kids that have left, like you said,
With dolls.
Mike. empty nester. Yeah, that was interesting. And just to talk about Oliver and Doreen for a second, my favorite part of them, like out of everything, the shenanigans in the entire episode, the part at the start, there was this part where she, Doreen's talking about how she like listens to the podcast, and she was like, I already know what you sound like because I listened.
Yeah.
I wonder what you would look like, and then she talks about how she like slows his voice down,
Yeah, slows it down.
and then speeds it up, and then she's like, slow it down,
Yeah.
speed it back up again. Oh, I just fucking, I was cackling. I thought that was hysterical.
I was like,
Oh.
stop. Come on, move on.
Creepy.
Creepy. Yes. Fulya, any other, like, do you want to talk more about Doreen in this episode?
Good. I think I've mentioned all I needed to.
You've done everything? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, look, she's just a bit much. Like, I know that when she talks about how, she has a lot of emotions, and that people with emotions are apparently the crazy ones. Well,
yes.
Here's the thing, right? I have a lot of emotions, but I don't consider myself like crazy and full on like her.
That's what people have been telling.
Yeah.
Telling her.
I don't know. I think she might just be misunderstood, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd say she's probably misunderstood, or she just misunderstands, really, because she took a lot of what Oliver and Charles were saying better as well.
Yeah.
Like she let her emotions get the best of her, and she's not crazy, but she's just a little intense,
Little is putting it lightly.
yeah, a little intense. All right, Mike, what did you think of Doreen?
Yeah, she's a very interesting character, and that's why I'm sort of in and ahhing. Is it essential for her to be in the rest of the show? Probably not. I think you said it before. It was sort of a way to understand Charles and his way of being emotionally attached to his family, and we need to learn a bit more, because I don't know if it's still, because knowing what we know with the next episode as well, if it's actually to do with Charles anymore. Maybe it's just the three. Maybe it's just what's been going on before the podcast. So maybe this is a red herring. I don't know. But I hope it would make sense overall. But at the moment, I'm not sure if this is an essential character to remember, because her character at the moment is to understand a bit more about Charles and his emotional journey, as well as Oliver and his love life breaking down and fixing itself back up again. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I did find it quite interesting that, because I was kind of expecting, we see ourselves going to Doreen's place and they're going to hide out there and stuff, and for some reason I didn't even think that Howard was gonna not say anything. I don't know why I believe that for a second, because I didn't expect that we were going to get to see any of the other characters. I thought it was just going to be Doreen and our main guys, and then in the opening credits everybody's fucking here. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So it felt a bit funny, like, I don't know. Did it feel forced to you guys for them to find a way to bring Bev and the actors out to this random house? Like, did it feel funny to you? Like, did it work?
I think that's probably the reason why I didn't like this episode as much, is because of the fact that they made it as if that, you know, they had to have Bev there and the actors there, sort of all just rocking up. I kind of see where you're coming from. I think it, like, I don't know that it was maybe forced, but it was just a weird way of bringing them in. Like, I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I agree in the sense that it was a really strange way to bring them in the sense that, you know, oh, we need to be around these people. They have to be part of the conversation. Yeah, so it was a little strange that they had to rock up. Mostly that Bev rocked up. I think that's the one that really made it the weirdest kind of reason as to why she needed to be there.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, because I feel like she doesn't need to be there in this episode
really.
at all, because I feel like her role is really just comedic relief at this point, and that's fine. But I think it would make more sense for her to rock up, only because isn't Howard like her assistant or some shit, or is he assistant to one of the actors? I can't remember. Remind me.
I can't remember what he was doing. He had multiple roles.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of makes sense that he would tell her in that sense. But you're right. Like, she doesn't really add to the. Bev doesn't really add to this. No, she doesn't add to the story other than like just being funny. Like, I loved her rant at the actors. I mean, it was stupid.
Drunken rant.
A drunken rant. It was so stupid and didn't make much sense and all of that. But I just kind of liked watching her let loose, especially when she's, you know, I just find it endlessly amusing when people tell Meryl Streep to her face that she's a bad actor, even though it's not. You know, it's just a very funny inside baseball sort of joke. And yeah, so that was amusing. And then her backtracking, you know, after she's like, I've just had the best sleep, and you know what? I was made for this business. Like, you know, like it was just funny. But you're right, she doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, she was. It was pointless to have her in there, to be honest. So it was just like, even if she wasn't there, it would have been fine.
Yeah, it wouldn't have affected anything.
Nah. Yeah, her being there was probably the strangest thing. The actors make a bit of sense because of the whole they're gonna help, you know, they're gonna help the team work out what's going on with the case, and because eventually, especially considering the fact that, from what Loretta said, that actors are investigators.
Yeah,
and so that kind of made more sense to have them there. But Bev just could have fucked off, and I wouldn't have cared.
Love it. I love it.
Not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just saying.
No.
Well, you'd be glad to hear she'll be getting her own spin-off show.
I'll be avoiding it like the plague.
Only melons in the Bev.
No.
It's terrible. Mike, what did you think about, like, them including Bev and the actors in this episode?
I think the way that they're probably trying to get them to, like a bottle episode, they were trying to get these people that don't want to be involved with each other, especially the main three with the actors and Bev as well, just to get together because there's an all threat, and so they need to get them together to actually, you know, decide to start working together, even though they do not trust any single one of them from the start, because they have no intention for them to work together, because they're thrown together because of this movie. And this movie is on the rocks because of the shenanigans. Which I sort of get why Beth is there, just to get them together and like solve this thing, and so we can actually get this movie. She's more movie orientated than all of them, and the actors are there to get a nice juicy roll and to make it a bit more fun to be in the sort of misc of solving a murder as well. So I can sort of see why they sort of lumped them together, because just to get them into a different area, different box, just to get them there. And so it's a yeah, I can sort of see it for that. Did it work? Yes and no. I mean, there's probably different ways they can probably do it, I guess. If it was just some random house, or even my original thought was going to be the sort of shed out in what was it, New Jersey, that we went there first, and they found Bev pointing the gun at them. I thought they were probably going there to go there, but no, we go to a completely new place too. And the only people who know him is where they are is Howard, and Howard dropped the bag, or even be a good sort of gopher, the scooter of this production.
Indeed.
Scooter accessories.
Scooter
In joke for the pod.
in joke for the pod. Yes. Bless. Yeah, so, like I mentioned earlier, we kind of had a resolution on the Oliver and Loretta, I don't know, almost breakup drama. Like, the beginning of the episode, Oliver's breaking up with her over text message, and I'm just like, no!
Is this essential? What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, I'm glad they ended it, and it was resolved fairly well, at least at first, because I was like, oh, this is great. You know, Loretta's realized, oh, it was actually my stand-in and all the bandages, so you didn't actually talk to me, and that wasn't, so everything's fine. And then
had a feeling that was gonna happen. The whole, oh, that wasn't me that you were talking to, that was someone else. That part, I was like, yeah, I think that might have been her.
We could probably gather that as an audience member, as like, yeah, it's a farce. It's farcical.
Yeah, and then it gets worse when, more conflict happens because of, when she rocks up, she sees Oliver in a compromising position with Doreen, even though nothing's happening, but then Doreen doesn't help anyone. Makes it worse and worse. And then, and then Loretta and Oliver have that discussion about, what he wanted to say to her on the phone, like what he would have said and what he did say. And like, I wanted to propose when I was in LA, and then I almost didn't. And like, he's so, like, I admire him for being so honest and upfront with her, but man, why did you tell her about the catfishing stuff with the fake Instagram account? I was like, no, you dumbass. Like, but there's Oliver, I guess, he doesn't think really, bless him. He's so amazing.
He does without thinking, and he speaks without thinking.
Yeah, it's just, oh man. So then that blew up, like, ridiculously, and then it blew up even more when fucking Doreen's suddenly wearing pigtails, trying to steal Oliver from Loretta, and then gets into a fight with her, that totally didn't need to happen, and then it just got chaotic as all hell, and it's just, I don't know, it all kind of went off the rails around that time when I'm just watching Meryl Streep and Melissa McCarthy on a couch, just fucking, she's slinging fake braids, just like, it's just chaos. I don't know, I didn't love it. I'm so ready for this love story to be done, and I'm glad we're nearing the end of it now.
It's not done.
I know.
We still got the next episode to talk about.
I know. Yeah, we do. Fulya, what did you make of Loretta's inclusion in this episode and how all that mess played out?
Yeah, look, I understood why she had to rock up for this particular episode, because, she obviously got this message that she got a call from him. A message to say we're breaking up, and because you know how Oliver can be so dramatic about things. And yeah, I mean, it's sweet that she would travel all that way to see him, to actually be face to face and talk it out, which is how breakups should be, to be honest. If you're gonna do it in person. But because text breakups are terrible, and I'm talking from experience. So
Well, you don't have to see their face, so all done.
no, this is true, but it's also very kind of, I don't know, just it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling.
Coward way.
Exactly. So
If you're gonna get slapped in the
where
face,
was I?
you take it.
Yeah. So Loretta being there to talk it out, I get it. But I don't know why Oliver had to go out of his way to then mention the Instagram stuff. Like, I get that he's trying to be open and honest with her, and, you know, no lies in the relationship and all that sort of stuff, but they were having a moment. They were having a nice moment, and he ruined it. He just absolutely shat all over it by telling her that. And the whole sequence with, you know, Loretta and Doreen, you know, having a fight. Doreen just... all she had to do was just calm the fuck down.
No.
and everything would have been fine. Just, you know, Loretta was doing her best to just diffuse the situation. But Doreen just got so much pent-up emotion that it just got let out through anger and frustration that she can't have Oliver because Oliver's taken. And that the fight sequence, entertaining though it was, I feel like it was a bit much. It was a bit much. So yeah, seeing these two middle-aged ladies just having at it on the couch was just... And then nobody was going in to stop this fight, which was the thing that was really making me feel like I was like, is nobody going to intervene at all to stop them from causing harm to each other? Nobody? Okay. Let's all just watch it all play out.
Yeah, I found that weird when, like, Mabel was suddenly like, I should stop this. And I'm like, yes, you should. And then she's immediately like, no, I'm not going to stop this. And I'm like, what are you doing? Ugh, Jesus.
And
Yep.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, Mike, what do you think then if Fully is... if Fully is still processing it all?
Yeah, this is probably my least liked aspect of this particular season. It's especially after the sort of the miscommunication. It's like, oh, we're gonna get them back together. Cool, but it just got a bit ridiculous for me. And yeah, I suppose I suppose other people would enjoy this aspect. I guess I don't see it, but I suppose I can't really talk too much about it. It's like, as long as it's all solved. So did we really need it? Let's get down to the killing. Who killed who?
Yes, who killed who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like petty squabbles.
Yep. Silly, stupid stuff. All right, well, just talking about the ending so we can move into the next episode then. Yeah, so one of Howard's jobs was to go to the bodega and check out the the signatures, the to see what had been happening with Dudenoff cashing the checks at this bodega. And then he realizes that the signatures are all different, and in fact, upon looking at the footage, it's the Westies. It's the Westies.
And yeah, every time I loved when Howard was flicking, like getting the store owner to just like fast forward and rewind on the tape, and then every time he saw someone, he's like, fast forward, fast forward.
Yeah, I love seriously. Howard is probably my favorite character. I love Howard. He's just the best.
The ledger to see the names. He's like, oh, these signatures don't match up at all. Oh my gosh, another Dudenoff.
Yeah, they're all Dudenoffs.
But the same phone number.
Yes. Yes. No, I love that. And then of course, like, Mabel's reluctancy to have the actors help with the case ends up paying off because this I really like. This was my favorite part of the episode, I think, was like the actors realizing that whoever's after you has been after you for a while and goes all the way back to the beginning of this. And
since season one.
Season one.
I was frothing this. I was like, yes, let's go. Let's go into who is responsible here. Yeah, so I really, really liked how they set this all up with the Westies and the who's been leaving the notes and stuff, and who poisoned the dog. I love the fact that they pointed out the fact that they just assumed it was Jan that poisoned Winnie, and actually, maybe it wasn't. So yeah, I fucking loved that stuff. I'm guessing you guys did too. The way the episode ended, where we got some good plot development.
Yes. This
That
is
was
the
good.
part of the episode that I enjoy.
Yeah. The actual mystery of what we're watching.
Yeah.
Finally.
We got to the plot.
We got to the plot at last. A plot, yes. All right. Do you have any final thoughts on Valley of the Dolls before we roll on into our next episode?
When they were talking about the plot holes within the show, I quite like that. Like, I mean, we're figuring out that this is going deep. It's from season one, and then I was happy. Then I was sad because I know in my brain it tells me you're gonna have to. You know what, Michael? You're gonna have to rewatch all of it before the season ends, so you can actually get to the ending before they do. So I'm sorry, I can't watch Firefly. I can't watch Parks and Rec. I'm sorry. I was going to watch it this week. I swear to you, I was going to watch it, but it looks like I'm going to have to watch all of Only Murders in the Building.
Research.
Yes, research.
Research, very important. I love that.
Yeah, he needs to have his own murder wall that's better than a murder board.
Yeah.
I've got an empty wall right now. I can do it.
Oh, yes, I see that was all part of your spring cleaning plan, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, shall we move on to our next episode then?
Yes. Please.
All right. Let's do it. Okay, Lifeboat, guys. This is the most recent episode. It came out this week. Yeah, definitely a lot different to Valley of the Dolls. We're back in the Arconia.
A lot of talking.
Lot of talking. A lot of stuff. Yeah, so I like this episode more because I think it, and I'm sure you guys are going to agree, that it focuses more on the plot and the story and the mystery and trying to get to the bottom of it all. And I did find Valley of the Dolls more enjoyable. I guess just in terms of the humor was heightened and things were a bit silly. in terms of the story, this one kind of deals more with, you know, that stuff, and that's also good. But also because I don't know, like I did like the episode, but it was interesting that there wasn't much more to the Westies. Like we kind of, again, they were brought back into the case as another red herring, if you will. I guess like we were immediately definitely killed Dudenoff, right? And then that kind of turns out not to be the case, and then it's not even, again, like before, it's like not as complicated as we think it is.
No.
It's all very simple with them, and it's again, it's like, I suppose it's another case of the trio and now the actors with them just assuming and going too deep into it and looking for things that aren't necessarily there. So yeah, so interesting in that sense. But I think what I really liked about it is that it gave us an answer and a conclusion to the Dudenoff story, and there were some really cool flashbacks with this Dudenoff guy, and I'm sad that he's dead. His farewell scene was really emotional.
Very touching.
Very touching. It was very, oh my god. I'll have thoughts about that later. But yeah, so it was a nice plot driven episode, this one. Plus any more time with Richard Kind is just is just enjoyable.
Being sinister.
Being sinister, yeah.
The origins of his pink eye.
Yeah, what or like there was a part I can't remember when they were, oh yeah, when Mabel brings out the shoulder to show, and then he's just like, I can't see that. He doesn't even, I can't remember, he says something really funny. It's like, I can't see that, or what is that, or I don't know. But I just liked his delivery on it. It was very funny. Anyway, Fulya, what did you think of Lifeboat overall?
Yeah, this was definitely a little bit more on the more subdued kind of an episode compared to the previous one. A lot more just discussing and explaining and just talking about what actually happened, and then the backstory of a bit more about what happened to Dudenoff. And yeah, I was also kind of upset because we find out that this guy was so nice and humble and welcoming and one hell of an educator. And yeah, and then he ends his life because of a cancer or a sickness of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed, yeah.
Yeah.
An undisclosed illness that he was diagnosed with. Yeah, it was interesting how we got to that point. How that, you know, finding out that Vince is, you know, very into film, that he went to one of his classes, which was really interesting to find out. And then, you know, the other three, you know, the Alfonso and Inez and Anna, that family was what was their how did they meet Dudenoff again?
So they run the restaurant, right? And then Dudenoff and his wife used to go eat in there every week, and then the wife died, and then he started getting taken out, and then they were like concerned about him, and so
that's right.
Yeah, that's how the Oh Hell started.
Yes, that's right. And then Rudy came in because he was an aspiring actor, and he did one hell of a freaking monologue.
Oh God, that was so funny. Kumail Nanjiani.
He does the whole thing.
The whole thing. And then, but like the best part, everyone in the room hates it except for Oliver.
Yeah. Oliver was like, well done. That was great.
Oh, that was so funny. He loved it. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. Yeah, and just the fact that the way that they cut that scene up to make it as if a long time has passed while he's doing his monologue just made it perfect to tell the viewer, hey, he's taking forever, so we're gonna cut it down for you.
He did the entire scene.
He did the entire thing. All of the characters, not just one. All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can't
And
handle
yeah.
the truth.
so that's how Rudy meets Dudenoff, and then Milton, I should say Milton Dudenoff, and yeah, it's just like finding out how these guys sort of came together, and they were all like, and then Milton gave them a place to stay and all that sort of stuff, and helped them out because they were really nice people, and yeah, it was a really humbling and sweet kind of backstory for him, but the way that he ended up dying was the really sad part, and I'm like, well, now I kind of wish we got to know him a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a big film buff, and just a really great, teacher and father figure, I suppose, as well, especially for Helga.
Yeah, I got stuff to say about Helga. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Mike, what were your thoughts on Lifeboat overall?
I like people just sitting down and talking.
Yeah.
And so I definitely enjoyed this episode, and where it's the Westies and the actors and the three, or the three and the actors. Where can we talk in secret? And yeah, it's it's on set. So, and Charles is just not having it, touching everything. Hopefully it's not a hot set, so it's just continuity's all fucked. And then I need to lay down.
Team continuity wasn't even correct.
Yeah.
No.
Still.
I just need to interject. I have to get this off my chest. I fucking love the touch of the, instead of nice hot vegetables, it said mean old meat in the background on the wall. I thought that was very funny. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. I love when someone yells off screen as well, especially if it's got an F word in it. Where's my fucking bed? I love it.
That was good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love people talking, and this is definitely like setting the stage for the last two episodes of what is a red herring at the moment and what's not. So now they're cutting loose the what happens with Dudenoff and his scenario and everyone who's involved with that. I'm still having inklings of maybe there's stuff still touched on of the real murder with Zaz, because there's a lot of similarities, especially with the joints, and also just the talking about movies as well. Maybe there was a disgruntled student, and how does Dudenoff know that there's actually an incinerator in the basement? That's a thing. But I just really like people just acting out stuff, including like a few good men and women. So it's a good episode.
Yeah, it was good. I did like that we like another aspect of the episode I enjoyed was the opportunity to see the actors and the trio like kind of working the case together, all in the same room. Like plotting together how to like the best way to lure the Westies over to their side of the Arconia to try and set up an interrogation and whatnot, and then how that kind of backfires. But yeah, I really liked that and a lot of the interplay between them. But my favorite, I think, was just the consistency from Eugene Levy trying to get Charles to get angry.
Yeah.
That was That was very, very funny. And
Like
that joke,
tantrum with me.
yeah, tantrum with me. That joke paid off in spades, I think, because just Steve Martin's physical comedy chops just really came out when he got up.
Like no
Like,
words, but just really
yeah,
weird sounds and movements
yeah.
and huffing and puffing.
It was so good. I fucking loved it.
That is classic Steve Martin physical comedy.
yeah, just brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of great little moments like that. Yeah, just evil Longoria being evil Longoria with her little gun thing that they end up using to record, and then bloody Zach Galifianakis trying to organize Oliver and Loretta's wedding on his behalf because he's suddenly really invested in that. So that's all very interesting. Fulya, what did you think about the stuff with the actors in the episode?
It was good just to sort of have them around, and they had some good sort of comedic moments, and yeah, Eugene Levy, I think just he stole it, I think, for me out of the three of them. Always but between Eugene and Zach, they're always trying to be like, as the Westies are explaining their reasoning as to why things happened, Eugene and Zach are always trying to find a way to be like, oh, so that's why you did it, because that means you killed him, kind of a scenario. They're trying to tie it back to them being the murderers. That got me every time too, and I love that. But yeah, it was really nice to sort of have them all there. The whole idea of being, playing a card game with celebrities, which would be fun, would be really cool. But then, all of a sudden, as soon as they walk in after the nicety greetings, they just like close the door, lock. All right, sit down. We're gonna get down to business. That was like, oh, here we go. Here comes the drama.
That was cool. I liked how they did that. I liked how, because obviously, we knew that the Westies knew that they knew about things. So
we knew they knew, the whole friends thing,
yeah. Yeah, it just played out really well. I'm glad that they didn't try and drag it out.
No,
they just got to the point. So that's cool.
They're like, let's get inside the room before we say anything that's going to incriminate us, and then we'll close the door, and then we'll talk. That was great. I love that. I think that it worked really well, because I was like, if they're going to just drag this out and just play games and whatnot and then get to that point, it was just going to be too much. So I'm glad that, because the Westies knew what was going on, and they were like, all right, we just need to get down to business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Mike, what did you make of the actors' involvement in this episode now that they're kind of more involved with the case?
Well, something to do with Charles said something about his anger. He doesn't really show his anger because it's not socially acceptable. I think that's a clue of what happened, of something happened in the past, and that's why maybe someone's coming after Charles, is because he did something in his past, and he doesn't want to divulge that. Except Eugene Levy's irking him with a fake fake
encouraging.
Yeah. Oh, was it a quiche? No, was it
omelette?
Fake
the omelette, yeah, the omelette.
Does this make you angry?
Yeah.
Stop.
The reflexes on Charles, though, as soon as it was about to fall off the table.
Yeah.
It's like, no, here.
Yeah, something about Charles's anger is sort of keying me in. But with Oliver and Zach forming a bit of a bond because they got shot together, or tried to get shot together, and Yeah, there's something there as well. It's sort of like starting with humble beginnings of not liking each other, and it's sort of blossoming into a nice sort of relationship between the two, and going so far as to helping to plan his wedding, because Zach marries his wife quarterly in the year. So
Yeah.
Quarterly is a lot.
it is. Considering I've done it once, and once is enough, thank you. But
He's a massive romantic if that's the case. But
yeah,
but you know, the fact that he was getting to the point where Oliver's just not a romantic at all was just nuts.
he's been
Like,
married.
let me be romantic for you.
Yeah, because you've been married how many times? And yeah. But yeah, and they'll play out very, very soon.
Yes. I'm envisioning Zach Galifianakis officiating the wedding now.
Probably.
That's where I'm going. Yeah, cool. So we've already talked about how, we kind of get to learn our backstories on the Westies in this episode, and how they've come to be a part of, Dudenoff's life in the Arconia. One character we haven't really learnt much about was Helga. She was the voice that we heard on the ham radio a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to put a face to the name. I believe this is the first time we've seen her, which is cool. I really liked her, and I kind of liked how she she kind of came in as this. No, wait, actually, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you everything that they haven't told you, because I can guarantee you they haven't told you the whole story. So I kind of like how she brought it the story full circle by filling in the gaps and then explaining to everyone and us as to what happened to Dudenoff, and how they were all involved with his death, but not in the way that we thought he was, I suppose. I really liked the addition of her as this, she got along with her father really, really well, and she's taken over this locksmithing business from him. And I like how that was their subtle way of like, why would Dudenoff have numbers on the as a way to get in, like a code lock, and then how it's oh hell, and then they bond over that and all that, and like it just happened to be a game that she played with her dad, and she's like, you remind me so much of him and all this stuff. So I love their bond and the way it's explored. And
tall, handsome, and blonde.
yeah. It's a weird thing to say about your dad, but all right. She's Scandinavian, I think. Yeah. But no, for me, I'm really glad that they didn't make Dudenoff sinister, because I was a little worried at first when like Helga was being excluded from all this stuff, and she ended up leaving the building, that maybe Dudenoff, I don't know, was up to something, or the Westies were up to something, and because they're all gossiping and talking, and she's walked in and like, oh hey Helga.
There's a ding dong sexy surprise.
Ding dong sexy surprise, exactly. But no, I really liked how his ending kind of tied into her in the way of, I don't want her to lose her dad all over again, basically.
Yeah.
And that got me a little emotional, because I was just like, that's really wow, like that's really sweet and thoughtful, and I'm really glad that they did that, because that was like watching like the video, like getting them to film him, sort of his goodbye to her, and then what we get to see her watching it in the present time, and yeah, it was all very sad. But yeah, I liked how she kind of was brought in this way, and it felt like it all made sense and stuff, and I don't think it felt like they were retconning anything into the story, considering we haven't really seen her at all until now, but it all worked for me. So, Fulia, what did you think of Helga?
Helga, why would she be a locksmith? Because she's like hot.
Yeah, great, so good.
Yeah, no, it was really cool that she was the ding dong appearance. And yeah, the Westies were all like, holy crap, it's Helga, what are you doing here? So yeah, it was really good to see their reactions as well to, someone who used to be part of the group that then sort of fell out of it. And then coming in and just explaining her version of the story, essentially, or what she knows about Milton Dudenoff. And yeah, it was really nice to get, like, to actually see her in person, first of all, and then to then get her explanation of her relationship with Milton. And it was really cool. And yeah, the fact that she got to a point where she was like, oh, I don't want to do anything to do with this group, was interesting as well. So yeah, it made sense that they would bring her into it. I was actually waiting for them to bring her in. I was like, if they're gonna surprise the Westies with someone, with a special guest, it had to be her. So it made sense. And yeah, like, I don't think it couldn't have been anyone else. So yeah, it was a good addition. So I agree. It worked. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, what about you? How did you feel about Helga?
Yes. Yeah, probably the same as everyone else. A good, sexy surprise, and yeah, just nice little tying of the bow of this particular adventure, of this part of the mystery, and how it's all setting up for the main mystery. And yeah, I kind of like I sort of was sort of umming and ahhing, because why would they actually kill Milton just to steal his money? And yeah, but it doesn't seem like it. But yeah, it all falls into place, and yeah, it fits quite nicely. So I like it. And yeah, it was a very touching moment and touching send off, and yeah, it got me going. No, I wouldn't do anything of that, but I wish I could.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that they seem to have landed on the Westies not being bad. I mean, they probably shouldn't have kept all their secrets the way they did, but I guess they are living there illegally.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason for that. But yeah. Yeah, well, I guess, should we just talk about the ending and wrap this up?
Yeah. The real ding dong sexy surprise.
The real ding dong sexy surprise. Yeah. So Helga stops by again to tell Charles that she was talking to Zaz. She had some contact with Zaz over the ham radio, and that's basically led to this conclusion that the person who might have been trying to kill them, or at least whoever killed Zaz, might be Glenn Stubbins.
Yeah.
This protege stunt person working under Zaz, and things don't work out really well. Yeah, interesting. I think this is another red herring, if I'm honest. I can't see Glenn having anything to do with, at least not wanting to kill. Like, surely he wouldn't want to kill Charles, right? Like, what connection would he have had to, I mean, was the season 1 connection? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the season 1 connection like it was the Westies? It was Dude Enough. Like it wasn't. It wasn't whoever's actually after killing them, or it is. I don't know. Am I getting my wires crossed?
That's why we need a rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. There's no connection there, but going off last season, I just had a thought, and when they were talking about a Ding Dong Surprise, one of them was a secret twin brother.
Yeah. Maybe
it's his twin brother, and Paul Rudd's character from did have a bit of a tiff with Charles, so maybe that's connected as well. I'm just hoping he just has a fake Irish accent.
that would be funny.
Yeah.
I would like that twist. That would be good.
Yeah.
And he's trying to kill Charles because he still thinks Charles killed him or his career. I don't know.
Yeah. But that only brings us back to season 3, which was the previous season. What about the other 2?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
That's why I need to rewatch.
Yeah.
Because we only got 2 episodes left.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, only 2 more episodes to go.
Do we want to know the names? I got them here.
Oh.
Yep. Next episode is called Escape from Planet Klongo.
Oh, the movie. That was the movie, right? That Zaz and Glenn worked on together.
Yeah.
And the last episode is called My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh.
I want to point out.
I wonder who's the wedding. Yep.
I want to point out the name of the project that Glenn Stubbins was on, apparently. Project Ron Kong, come on.
Yeah, what the hell?
They mentioned this project, they say Ron Kong, come on, and I'm like, that is a weird name. What the hell? Why would they call it that?
Tongue twister for the actor to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wrong
Okay, so it's not the same name as the next episode title.
Planet Klongo? No.
No, okay.
I'm
so tired. I'm so tired. I'm just like.
Hey, I wrote it the way I'd say it.
Yeah.
Or the way they said it, at least.
Okay. Got a plot summary for next week's episode. Seeking a critical clue, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel must infiltrate a film set to get the real background on why Zaz was killed. We're going to Hollywood.
We're going back to Hollywood.
Again.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Do we have a synopsis? Yeah, we don't have a synopsis for the last episode, which makes sense.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't have any more thoughts on this episode. Fulya, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Mike, do you have anything else?
No, gotta
do a
rewatch.
Gotta do a rewatch.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, sir.
You got a couple of days.
Yeah.
A couple of days.
Couple of days.
Couple of days.
I've got 30 episodes to watch. 3 a day. Push it to 4.
I mean, you could just watch season 1, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And see how I go. But I can't yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. It all blends in.
It all blends in. Alright. Let's call it then. That was our epic popcorn culture over an hour on
Yep.
Only Murders in the Building. Episode season 2, see episode 7 and 8. Valley of the Dolls and Lifeboat. Season 4. I don't know why I said season. Actually, I know why I said season 2, but I'm not gonna say it. My brain is not here. Yes, Valley of the Dolls, Lifeboat, season 4. Episodes 7 and 8. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was fun. Which means now we're at the end of our show. We're done. It's over. Time to go to bed. 1, a 2, a 3.
And
that
that was a
was
podcast called Fred. Bam.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Freddy Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And you're watching us right now. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future content just like this one. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on the way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes. I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I've been the quick and easy and justified Michael Lister.
And
you just experienced a podcast called Fred. Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Yeah, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and God of War, look at me, I'm the God of War. Sneak, sneak, snake, sneak, sneak, sneak. Look at my swords, I got chains. Woo! I look like a Chippendale.
Amazing.
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Laters, Gators.
And see.